Hello and welcome to yet another Switch podcast. This is episode 21. And as usual, we are your hosts. My name is Kent.
Elvin?
And welcome to this podcast. As usual, if you're watching this, please support us on social media, like us, voice out your support, give us any comment. And for today's episode, we're going to talk about the Worldwide Developer Conference, or WWDC, that was held at June 9th in United States? June 8th.
Yeah, until this Friday.
Yep.
I think tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, tonight is the last.
Because here in Malaysia, we are essentially almost like one day ahead of United States. And boy, was there so many announcements. Actually, I lost track already. Why not, Elvin, you start off first? Because seriously, I have no idea where to start.
Okay, actually, as usual, they announced two new updates for the OS. One is for the Mac and one for the iPhone and iPad.
Agreed.
So for the Mac, they use the word El Capitan.
I prefer the pronunciation El Capitan.
Okay.
You know,
Capitan is more in Malaysia way.
More in Malaysia way.
Yeah, but in the US, they call it Capitan.
Yeah.
And then another one is iOS 9. But another thing is, they released the native OS for the watch. Apple Watch.
Yeah, that was boom.
Yeah, it's a Watch
boom.
OS version 2. You see, already version 2. We still haven't get hands on the watch, but now it did.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is my hand showing out in expiration. And not only that, Swift version 2. For those who do programming language, it was Swift version 2. And out of a joke, me and Elvin were talking whether it should be 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, now jumped to 2.
It's Shift 2.
Oh.
So interesting that they made some improvement for the performance for the both OS. One thing that brought a lot of people mind is Shift 2 because Apple plan to open source.
Open source for the win.
Yeah, that was one of the mind-blowing section when they announced that Shift 2 will be go for open source. Actually, what's the benefit go for open source?
Well, okay, and I think if you don't mind me talking slightly longer, let me explain a bit of background.
Yeah.
Now, the benefit of open source is the code is shown to everyone. It means anyone can see it, anyone can contribute to it, anyone can code for it. So it's not hidden behind layers of copyright, etc. So that means, let's say I create a Word document. Let's say I'm writing a report. I open source it. Elvin can put in comments and say that maybe this one is wrong, maybe you should adjust this sentence a bit. Someone else can contribute. So it means the contribution of the whole to spot like the errors, correct it, means it's better than just letting a single person or a single company do it behind closed door. At least that's the theory. Obviously, if those who've been following tech news, you have heard bugs in OpenSSL, Heartbleed, so it's not 100% correct. But think about this carefully. Apple rarely open sources software.
It's quite a first time, right?
No, Safari is actually open source.
Safari.
The WebKit technology, the Power Safari, used in Google Chrome before they spun it off, is also open source. In fact, Apple's operating system, the core, Darwin, is open source if you could find the kernel, which was removed in the past.
Because they got mentioned that they open source also support for the Linux. Okay, so
Linux.
Means that they maybe in future they will have another system that built on the Swift.
Speculation, my friends. Speculation.
Is that possible?
It's possible.
Because it's open source, right?
It's open source.
So everyone can
when you
use
have a language, if someone can code for it, and if there's enough support, who knows? You could go a lot of ways. But in the present and in the now, it's still mind-blowing that now Swift is now version 2. It's easy to program for. If you are a scripper, you have used JavaScript, you have used PHP, you have used Python. Honestly, it's not that hard to use it. It's actually easier than learning Objective-C if you have never used Objective-C before. But that's just among a few of the things. And I think just to come back to the two other major announcements, which is OS 10 and iOS. So iOS 9 is a refinement. It's seriously a refinement. And I think it will improve the performance. I think they say, increase 1 hour of battery life?
If you enable they got one option that for you to enable the battery life to low battery life. Low battery supported, so means that when you on that thing, so they will reduce some motion, reduce some of the feature to gain the battery life more longer,
and I think
up to 3 hours.
Important to all of you. In fact, it's important to both of us.
Yeah.
I would rather have additional battery life, and the fact that you don't have to upgrade your hardware, you just install a new version of operating system that works as far back as the iPhone 4S.
Yeah, it's Even the iPad 2 still can upgrade.
Yes, I was like, whoa.
Okay.
So that means, ladies and gentlemen, your investment in the Apple ecosystem is well rewarded because Apple is willing to put the effort to make sure that you get the best performance in your OS. And that's iOS devices. Let's talk about Mac. I prefer to pronounce the El Capitan. Capitan, okay. So El Capitan, it's actually a throwback to back in 10.6. Now it's called 10.10.
10.10, El Capitan will be 10.11.
10.11. So back in the past, 10.6 Snow Leopard was actually a refinement of 10.5 Leopard. In fact, there was a keynote. You guys in the social media can search about it. Steve Jobs went on the keynote stage and say that for our next version of Snow Leopard, there will be 0 new features. You're so proud to say 0 new features. Because Snow Leopard was literally a refinement of Leopard and improved performance. Even up to now, some of the outlets in Switch, we are still using Snow Leopard. It's that rock solid.
So one of the special thing about the El Capitan is Apple moved the Matter to the Mac OS.
Graphical performance.
Yeah.
So if you are doing 3D gaming, and if you have watched the keynote, you saw that they were demonstrating the fact that you can use Illustrator and almost any of the productivity app, improve performance.
The performance. So the most thing Apple introduced Matter to the Mac OS because they want to get the most performance of the graphic for the professional application. Okay.
What Alvin said.
Yeah, you can play game. Okay, game is one of the feature, but they more concentrate on the professional apps. Like you say, they talk about the Adobe, the Photoshop, the Illustrator, how fast they can perform. So this will affect in future a lot of let's say the Maya, the 3D software will be run more smoothly on the Mac OS.
Yeah, and the end benefit is not us as seller. The benefit is you guys. And like for us, I'm using this Mac. The fact I can still install the same operating system, even though it's an old model, it's also mind-blowing. It's like if you look at the list, it can support computers as far back as 2009.
Especially you can support for the current OS. Yeah, you can support for the next OS.
So not an issue. So it's like when the whole ecosystem for Apple, when you talk about the way that Apple supports it, the improvements to the operating system, to the iOS software, and now watchOS, you're talking about functionality, the value of the ecosystem that Apple is investing in it. Hence the reason for a worldwide developer conference, to let all the developers know, and this is the direction Apple is going, the future is looking bright. So now we have 3 tempos. Mobile, iOS, Mac, the desktop, and then watchOS.
Yeah, because watchOS is a native, means that the applications can run on the watch itself. You don't need a phone, because previous that you need a phone to do the app logic. But now the watch can do it by themselves. So this is a huge benefit that let's say you don't have your watch with you, your iPhone with you, so you still can use the watch.
What Alvin said, and I think the joke here is that for Malaysia, we ignore United States since they already enjoy. For Malaysia, we are looking at the repeat of history, like the first iPhone. The first iPhone never even arrived in Malaysia. It took the second iPhone, which is iPhone 3 to arrive, with an OS that's already refined, and you can install apps, all that. So who knows? By the time the Apple Watch arrives in Malaysia, maybe you have better functionality.
Yeah, so we still wait and see. But the more exciting is, okay, let's say you guys interested to testing the new iOS or the new Mac OS. Yes, you can register at beta.apple.com.
Beta.apple.com.
Use as your own risk because it's a beta version.
Oh yeah, trust me, ladies and gentlemen, if you are using your only device for your own use, no. Don't install it. Say, Mac, you're using it for your work, gaming, maybe it's your personal use, you don't have a spare, no, don't install anything.
Yeah, because Apple released, it's quite the first time they released the
more or less
public beta.
In the sense that like after announcing, WC stuck announcing. Usually they maybe give it to the developer before.
They're limited to the people, but now they're quite open.
Open up.
To all people
really a big change compared to Apple last time. It's a good change. It's a good change. Don't get me wrong. It's a good change.
And some more that if let's say you got interest in programming for the Swift, okay, actually you can register for free. You can access to the Xcode, all the kind of SDK for free, but you can test on your own device. Unless you want to publish to the App Store, you need to pay. But this time quite different is both OS, one prices.
Oh yes, one price. Last time on behalf of Switch, I have to help the company register for Mac developer, iOS developer. Now they consolidate into one, and the benefit again is not to us selling Apple, it's to you. So if you are watching this, you are really have interest in using Apple products or development, etc. Seriously, check out developer.apple.com. What Alvin said, you'll be surprised, amazed. The documentation are all there. Right now, WWDC is ongoing. The video for all that also online.
So if you got interest and look for it, and actually it's free, so you can give a try. Because you don't know what can you get from the learning. So let's give a try. It's
so who knows?
Nice.
Maybe one of you watching this, you're the next programmer expert.
Yeah, maybe you can get an Apple Design Award.
Yeah, hey, seriously. I mean, Crossy Road won, right?
Yeah.
And we were playing Crossy Roads at Switch World.
Now you get the award from the Designer Award.
Yeah, so it's like, you see, the creativity is there, the tools are there, the value of any of Apple's product. It's like Mac, iOS devices, Apple Watch. The possibility now is pretty much endless, ladies and gentlemen. The value of just buying a Mac, developing, and if you are not developing, creating, it's all there. And the WWDC is where it all gives the next entire year of direction and beyond.
Yeah, so you see a lot of people, they're so excited about the WWDC, especially the developer. So they spend a lot of time to go through all the events, all the videos, and see what they can learn from there.
So don't take our word for it. Go check out Apple's website, apple.com. Look at the keynote for the WWDC if you haven't done so yet. And if you already done so, go to developer.apple.com. The links will be in this video posted. Check it out seriously. Go and do it. It's really worth the time and effort. And if you want more lessons, you don't have to look for us. iTunes U. Check it all out. Our previous episode we also mentioned as well. But I think there's enough of us blabbering already. So ladies and gentlemen, please support us on social media, like our page, and give us any comments for this episode of Switch Podcast. It's me, Kent.
Alvin.
Thank you, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.